The streets are whispering again, not about the ops, not about the charts, but about something way deeper. Something even money and fame can't fix. Inside OTF, Lil Durk's crew, the empire he built from nothing, there's a storm brewing that nobody saw coming. Loyalty is being tested, friendships are cracking, and the truth about who's really running things might just tear the whole camp apart. For years, OTF stood as a brotherhood, unshakable, untouchable. But sources close to Durk say that lately, the tension behind the scenes has hit a breaking point. Private arguments, secret phone calls, and quiet unfollows on Instagram. The kind of signs that only mean one thing in this game: war within the family. Some insiders claim it started with money. Others say it was betrayal. But one thing's for sure, Durk's inner circle is changing, and not everyone's making it to the next chapter. Tonight, we're breaking down the truth that's got fans shook, artists choosing sides, and the whole Chicago scene watching in silence. This ain't about rumors, it's about survival, loyalty, and what happens when a brotherhood built on pain starts to fall apart from the inside. This is Inside OTF's Secret War, the truth about Lil Durk's inner circle. From the outside, OTF looked unstoppable. The shows were packed, the music was charting, and Lil Durk was living what every artist from the trenches dreams of: money, respect, and power. But behind those designer shades and diamond chains, something darker was moving. Something nobody wanted to admit. People close to Durk started whispering that the energy in the camp was off. What used to be a brotherhood was slowly turning into a battlefield. Behind closed doors, egos were clashing, trust was breaking, and small arguments were turning into full-blown wars. It all started months ago after Durk dropped his latest project, a project that was supposed to bring OTF closer together. Instead, it split them apart. Sources say some members felt left out, left off songs, left off tours, and left out of the money. One insider told a blog quietly, "Bro, people been feeling some type of way. Not everyone eats the same in OTF, even though Durk been trying to feed everybody." At first, it seemed like typical rap drama, minor tension between artists. But then, it got personal. Fans noticed that certain OTF affiliates stopped tagging Durk on social media. Subtle unfollows. No shout-outs. No reposts. It didn't take long before fans started connecting the dots. One tweet said, "Y'all notice Durk ain't been posting the same people lately? OTF looking weird." Another comment read, "It's always the ones closest to you. Durk better watch his circle FR." Those tweets got thousands of likes, and soon, blogs picked it up. But Durk stayed silent. That's when things really started to spiral. According to sources, the first real fracture came during a studio session in Atlanta. Durk had flown a few OTF members down to work on new music. The vibe was supposed to be celebratory, but when it came time to record, people started arguing over who was getting on what track. One witness said, "It was bad energy. Folks was arguing about verse placement, saying Durk playing favorites. He walked out the session tight, like, y'all messing up the whole vibe." That night, the arguments didn't stop. Inside group chats, certain OTF members began accusing each other of switching up and riding coattails. Screenshots leaked online, arguments over money splits, missed shows, and disrespect. But while the internet thought it was just another group fight, those who really knew Durk said it was something much deeper. For years, Durk had been dealing with loss. King Von D-Tang Nusky, people he loved like family. And now, the one thing that kept him grounded, OTF, was starting to feel like it was slipping away. One close friend described it best. "Durk's not just the boss. He's the big brother, the provider, the one everybody looks to. And that's heavy." You could tell it was wearing on him. Then came the night that changed everything. The night OTF's secret war truly began. Durk was supposed to headline a private event in Chicago, a celebration of his latest platinum record. Everybody expected the entire OTF roster to show up. But when he arrived, a few key faces were missing. Whispers spread through the crowd. "Where's so-and-so? Didn't they fly in? They ain't coming?" Durk brushed it off at first. He gave his speech, thanked the fans, the city, his brothers, all that. But after the event, a phone call came through that changed his whole mood. According to someone in his camp, a video had surfaced, an unreleased clip from a private argument between two OTF members. In the clip, voices could be heard yelling about who's really OTF and who's just here for the fame. The internet went crazy. Within hours, the video had been shared on blogs, YouTube gossip channels, and Reddit threads. Everyone wanted to know what was going on inside Durk's camp. Fans wrote, "This ain't no small beef. You can hear the tension. OTF finna implode. I can feel it. They moving like 4 picofarads and YSL all over again." Durk was furious. But instead of lashing out online, he went quiet, too quiet. And when Lil Durk goes silent, that's when things get dangerous. Behind the scenes, Durk reportedly called a meeting with his inner circle. A private sit-down in Atlanta. Phones off, no cameras, no outsiders. Just family, or at least, who was left of it. At that meeting, according to insiders, voices were raised. Some pleaded for peace. Others doubled down. But one thing became clear: Durk felt betrayed. "I put y'all in position," he allegedly said. "I risked everything for this. And now y'all moving like I'm the enemy." One member reportedly snapped back. "It ain't that, bro. But you act like we don't put in work too. You got the fame, we got the hunger. Don't forget who helped you build this." Those words hit hard. The room fell silent. Durk just looked at him and said, "OTF don't move off hunger. We move off loyalty. And if that's gone, ain't nothing left." That was the night some people walked out and never came back. By the next morning, group chats were cleared out. Contacts were blocked. OTF, the brotherhood that once moved like an army, had quietly split into factions. Some still stood with Durk no matter what. Others started making side moves, connecting with different artists, different managers, even talking to rival crews. From the outside, it looked like business as usual. But the streets knew. The blogs knew. Even the fans could feel it. Something inside OTF was broken. Rumors started to swirl. People saying that money for merch and shows wasn't being split right, that new members were getting paid before the old ones, that some artists were getting shelved. One fan summed it up in a viral comment. "It's always the same story. Once the money comes, loyalty leaves." And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, another twist hit. A mysterious Instagram page popped up, posting old photos and unseen footage of OTF members together. But the captions weren't nostalgic, they were accusations. "Y'all forgot who started this. Fake love everywhere. Watch who you call brother." People immediately started speculating. Was it a hacker? A bitter ex-member? Someone inside trying to expose the truth? The page gained thousands of followers overnight, and each post seemed to know more than the last. Fans couldn't believe how specific some of the info was. It wasn't random gossip. These were real insiders. As the page dropped new receipts every night, OTF members started posting cryptic stories, Bible verses, broken heart emojis, and dark captions like, "You can't trust nobody, not even blood." Even Durk posted a simple quote that fans couldn't ignore. "They prayed for the fall, but I'm still 10 toes." That one post alone had fans analyzing every word, trying to figure out who he was talking about. But what nobody knew yet was that the situation was about to explode even bigger, because the person running that mysterious Instagram page, it wasn't who anyone expected. The storm inside OTF didn't end that night in Atlanta. It only changed shape. What had started as quiet suspicion turned into open warfare disguised behind studio walls. A few days after that meeting, one of Durk's longtime collaborators leaked a cryptic audio clip on Instagram stories. Only 5 seconds long, but it was enough to light the fuse. You could hear muffled voices, a studio beat running in the background, and someone saying, "He think he can cut me out and keep it moving?" The voice was familiar to fans. They froze when they realized it sounded like someone who used to be on every OTF track just 2 years ago. The internet didn't need context. Within hours, threads on Reddit, X, Twitter, and TikTok had already created their own versions of what happened. Durk was cutting off old members. He was hiding money. He was protecting himself after Vaughn's death by burning every bridge that reminded him of the streets. And somewhere in between the rumors and the truths lay the messy reality. Durk's world was shrinking, and everyone wanted a piece of the story. People close to him said he barely slept. He spent nights pacing through his mansion, phone in hand, staring at messages that used to bring comfort but now felt like threats. Every text from an old friend made him tense. Who leaked what? Became his favorite question. He started keeping 2 phones, one for business, one for silence. When you called the second one, only 3 people ever picked up: his manager, his lawyer, and his mother. Around this time, a new name entered the scene: T, a quiet but ruthless new member who fans started calling Durk's right-hand man. T was a mystery, rarely posted online, always standing behind Durk in photos, eyes scanning the room like he could see betrayals forming before they happened. Some people said T was the one cleaning house, finding out who was loyal and who wasn't. Others said he was the one creating paranoia, whispering in Durk's ear that everyone around him was plotting. Whatever the truth, things got ugly fast. A few members who were left out of that private meeting started their own live sessions, throwing shade without saying names. One of them looked straight into the camera and said, "You know who you are. You built your name off us, but remember, we got stories too." Fans flooded the comments, begging for details, tagging Durk's account over and over. The live ended suddenly, but the damage was done. Blogs clipped the video and reposted it with headlines like "OTF turning on Durk" and "New beef inside the family." For every rumor that surfaced, another problem followed. One of the group's luxury cars was repossessed outside a club. A business partner claimed they hadn't been paid in months. And a journalist who'd been following the story released a 12-minute expose titled "The Price of Loyalty: What's Happening Inside OTF." It was part truth, part speculation, but it didn't matter. It hit 1 million views overnight. Durk saw it, and for the first time, he looked defeated. A friend who visited him that week said he sat in his home theater watching that video in silence. When it ended, he simply said, "They love when you break." But if the world thought he'd crumble, they underestimated him. Within days, Durk started plotting his counterattack, not with violence, but with business. He doubled down on his label, announced new signings, and posted a cryptic caption, "New blood, same empire." The photo showed him with T, both wearing all black, standing in front of a Rolls-Royce with the caption blurred out in smoke. It was the calm before the next explosion. Because behind that announcement, the split inside OTF was officially complete. The old guard, the original crew that came up with Durk in Chicago, was now separated from the next-gen branch built in Atlanta. 2 cities, 1 name, no trust. The cracks turned into open fire when a song snippet leaked from an anonymous account called The Real OTF. The snippet featured a verse from a former OTF artist rapping, "You said we was family till the money came in / now you locked the gate, left your brothers in the wind." The comments under the post were merciless. "That's a shot at Durk," one wrote. Another replied, "He asking for smoke." The track went viral, and within days, both sides were dropping subliminals. Durk didn't respond directly, but he knew the power of silence. Every time he ignored a diss, it made the other person look smaller. But in the streets, silence isn't always peace, it's warning. Then came the betrayal that nobody saw coming. A private group chat between several ex-OTF members leaked online, and screenshots showed messages hinting at Durk's business manipulation. One line stood out: he got Vaughn's masters locked up under a side deal. Fans lost their minds. The idea that Durk, Vaughn's brother-in-arms, might be withholding rights to his music tore through the internet like wildfire. Hashtags like #JusticeForVaughn and #FreeTheMasters trended for days. Durk's team went into overdrive, denying everything, threatening legal action, but the damage was already done. In the eyes of many fans, the image of Durk the loyal brother had cracked. And once the internet senses blood, it doesn't stop. Vaughn's mom entered the conversation. In a live stream watched by thousands, she said, "All I know is, my son didn't die for people to get rich off his name." Her tone wasn't angry. It was tired, heartbreak laced with confusion. But the moment she said it, everything changed. The narrative was no longer about business or music, it was personal. Durk's silence after that stream spoke louder than any statement could. For a week, he didn't post a thing. No stories. No tweets. No music. Just silence. Meanwhile, the other side kept talking. They said OTF was finished, that the crew was now nothing but a name and a memory. One even said on a podcast, "When real ones die, the fakes always try to fill the space." The clip hit every blog page within hours. Then boom, a twist nobody expected. A private video surfaced of Durk and Von's mom meeting quietly at a restaurant in Atlanta. They weren't fighting. They were talking. Smiling, even. TMZ-style footage showed Durk leaning forward, hands together, saying something that made her nod. The internet went into meltdown. Was it reconciliation? Damage control? Guilt? No one knew. But it reignited the story. A day later, Durk posted a single photo of Von's mural with the caption, "Legends live forever." That post became one of the most liked on his page. For a moment, it looked like peace might finally come. But behind the scenes, tensions inside OTF only got worse. T had reportedly started running things with an iron fist. Members described him as paranoid, controlling, and ruthless about money. "You either loyal to the boss or you gone," one said. Ain't no in-between. Within weeks, 2 more OTF artists were dropped from projects. One of them leaked a DM from T that read, "You not OTF no more. Don't make me say it twice." Fans couldn't believe it. OTF, the label that had once symbolized family, was now a brand built on fear. Durk seemed trapped between 2 worlds, the empire he'd built and the ghosts of the one he'd lost. He was tired. Friends said he spent more time in the studio alone, writing songs that sounded more like confessions than flexes. One unreleased track reportedly included the line, "Every time I feed the team, they ask what's next to eat." It was pain wrapped in poetry, the sound of a man realizing loyalty doesn't guarantee love. Then something even darker surfaced, a leaked document that appeared to be an internal audit of OTF's accounts. It showed untraceable payments labeled personal security and image management. The amounts were massive. When the blog Rap Radar Leaks posted the document, the caption read, "This ain't security, this is hush money." Durk's lawyer immediately called it fake, but the public didn't care. By then, the narrative had its own life. OTF wasn't a label anymore, it was a legend turned mystery. A movement born from loyalty, now haunted by secrets. The press started calling it the OTF Civil War. Some said it was about money, others about respect, but one thing was clear, the brotherhood that once defined Durk's rise had shattered into factions. And yet, even in the chaos, Durk stayed calculated. One night, he hosted a private listening session for his new album, inviting only journalists, not artists. The album's title? Family Over Fame. When one reporter asked what inspired it, he smirked and said, "People forget which one come first." The message was clear, but the war wasn't over. Because the next morning, an anonymous account uploaded a 2-minute video titled OTF, The Untold Files. It included unseen footage from old studio sessions, snippets of arguments, and voice notes that sounded like T threatening someone over money. The night that track dropped, something shifted in Durk's world. The air in Atlanta felt heavier, the mansion quieter, the calls shorter. Everyone who had once been close to him could feel it. Durk wasn't angry, he was cold. He'd stopped replying to texts, stopped showing up at events, stopped pretending everything was okay. Inside his studio, lights stayed dim as he played the same leaked song on repeat. Each time the line, "I made you millions" echoed through the speakers, his jaw clenched tighter. Then came the phone call. A blogger known for exposing industry secrets claimed to have a full 30-minute clip of a private conversation between Durk, T, and another OTF member. In that alleged recording, the men talked about keeping certain people quiet and cleaning up loose ends. Whether the tape was real or edited didn't matter. It was enough to make every headline explode overnight. The next morning, OTF was trending again, but this time, it wasn't about music. Durk's team moved fast. Lawyers sent takedowns, PR teams released statements, and Durk himself posted a single sentence: "Everything you hear ain't the truth." But the internet had already decided. Fans demanded answers, blogs printed conspiracies, and former members kept adding fuel. It was chaos, a digital war fought with tweets and DMs instead of bullets. And while the internet dissected every rumor, the real storm was happening inside. T had started tightening his control, turning the label into something more like a fortress than a family. Cameras were banned from the studio. Phone recordings were checked. Anyone caught leaking content was immediately cut off. Those who stayed loyal described T as both protector and dictator. He kept Durk safe, one insider said, but he made enemies out of everyone else. Even those who didn't mean harm were caught in the crossfire. One engineer was fired after accidentally forwarding a song draft to the wrong group chat. A videographer claimed his entire hard drive was confiscated because it contained private sessions. The walls were closing in, and the more Durk tried to control the leaks, the faster they spread. Then came the betrayal that broke the internet. A former OTF artist dropped screenshots of payment receipts showing missing royalties. In one text, he wrote, "All that loyalty talk for what?" That line alone got millions of views. It wasn't proof, but it felt believable enough to make fans question everything. Durk tried to stay quiet, but silence has its limits. During a late-night Instagram live, rare for him, he appeared visibly drained. "Y'all don't know what I go through," he said softly. "I've been carrying ghosts on my back for years." The comment section flooded with hearts, prayers, and snake emojis all at once. Everyone had picked a side. Meanwhile, new OTF recruits started posting photos with captions like "New Era, New Energy." That sent another shock through the fandom. The old members, those who built the foundation, were gone, replaced by faces nobody recognized. Some fans called them the clone crew. Others said they were the ones who didn't know the code. Then, just when people thought the story couldn't get darker, a journalist dropped a bombshell. Leaked court filings suggesting that OTF was under financial investigation for mismanagement of assets. The document didn't name Durk directly, but the implications were clear. Every news outlet ran with it. Durk's label was suddenly painted as a ticking time bomb. The following days blurred into chaos. Police cars were seen outside OTF's Atlanta offices. Reporters camped near Durk's mansion. Anonymous accounts claimed the feds were involved. Most of it was noise, but in the middle of that frenzy, Durk vanished. No posts. No sightings. Nothing. Weeks passed before he resurfaced, this time in a video that looked more like a documentary teaser than an apology. Sitting alone under low light, Durk spoke directly to the camera. "They can say what they want," he said calmly. "I lost brothers, I lost peace, but I ain't never lose my soul." The clip ended with text on screen, "The truth coming soon." The internet exploded again. Was he announcing an album, a tell-all, or a confession? Nobody knew. But every YouTube channel, podcast, and gossip page started guessing. His name dominated headlines for a week straight. Then, unexpectedly, Vaughn's mom posted on Instagram. Her caption read, "The truth hurts, but sometimes it heals." Beneath it was a photo of her shaking Durk's hand backstage at a private event. That single picture changed the entire mood. For the first time in months, fans saw unity instead of tension. Behind the scenes, however, the story wasn't over. T had disappeared. Rumors swirled that he'd taken money and fled. Some said Durk had fired him quietly. Others claimed the label retired him for safety reasons. Either way, his absence spoke volumes. Durk started rebuilding again, piece by piece. He re-signed a few members, brought back producers he'd once clashed with, and announced a new project titled Still OTF. The title wasn't subtle, it was a message. No matter what they say, he told fans in a live stream, we still stand. But peace never lasts long in hip-hop. Just when things seemed to stabilize, another leak dropped. An unseen video clip from months earlier showing an argument between Durk and T. In it, Durk yelled, "You think I don't know who's leaking my life?" The clip cut out before T could respond, leaving fans guessing what came next. Theories flooded back in, stronger than ever. Some believed Durk staged it for publicity. Others said it was proof of how deep the betrayal went. Either way, it reignited the storm one last time. In the end, Durk stopped trying to control the story. He released his album quietly, without promo, without fanfare. The music spoke for him. Each track sounded like a confession, lines about loyalty, guilt, and redemption. The beats were darker, the tone quieter. In one song he rapped, "I gave them heaven, they gave me hell / I kept it real, they couldn't tell." Fans called it his rawest work ever. Slowly, the noise began to fade. The blogs moved on to new scandals. The fans found new rumors to chase. And OTF, once a symbol of family, became something else, a lesson. Durk's empire didn't crumble, but it changed. The flashy entourage, the loud shows, the endless flexes, they were replaced by solitude and focus. The few who remained around him were silent, disciplined, loyal. The rest vanished into memory, their stories scattered across the internet like fragments of a broken mirror. And just like that, inside OTF's secret war stopped being gossip. It became legend. A story of power, loyalty, and what happens when trust turns toxic. But if you ask the people who were really there, they'll tell you one thing. The war inside OTF never truly ended. It just went quiet. So what really happened inside OTF? Was it betrayal, bad business, or the natural cost of fame? Maybe it was all three. One thing's certain, Lil Durk's story isn't just about music anymore. It's about survival in an industry where loyalty can vanish faster than love. It's about what happens when the dream becomes too heavy for everyone to carry. Every rumor, every leaked clip, every silent post tells a different version of the truth. Maybe Durk really was protecting what he built. Maybe the people around him were only loyal until the checks stopped clearing. Or maybe, just maybe, the truth sits somewhere in between, buried under pride, pain, and too many secrets to count. But one thing's for sure, the world is still watching. Fans are still divided. And somewhere inside the quiet halls of OTF, the echoes of brotherhood still linger, waiting for peace that may never come. Now it's your turn. What do you think really happened behind the scenes? Was Durk betrayed by his own family? Or did fame change the man who once preached loyalty over everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe in loyalty, hit that like button. If you think the truth still hasn't come out, share this video and let the world decide. Because this story isn't finished, it's only paused. And as the streets of Chicago know too well, silence always hides the loudest secrets.